lies, shenanigans. Truth, 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 lies, shenanigans.
Oh yeah! Shenanigans. Truth, lies, 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 shenanigans. Oh yeah! Shenanigans. Truth, lies, 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 shenanigans.
Shenanigans. Truth, lies, 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 shenanigans. Shenanigans. Truth, lies, 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 shenanigans.
Hey friends, welcome back to Truth Lies Shenanigans, the live show for Sunday, September 13th, 2020. My name is Neo, and I'll be trying to help you keep up with all our shenanigans. My co-host for today's show, to my left, the fiery one, Lizzie.
What's up? What's up? Happy fun day, Sunday fun day, everyone.
All right, opposite corner, the funny one, Jam.
Hello.
Funny looking.
Hello. So George.
Funny looking one. I like that. And below me, our Sunday ray of joy and sunshine, Z.
Hi, everyone. I missed you guys.
We missed you. Good to have you back.
How do you spell your name again?
Good to be back.
All right, I hear some ESPN in the background. Somebody's checking their teams right now. I hear that.
Well, because the U.S. Open men's final starts now, so I just got an alert.
All right. All right, for today's show, all hot topics. Lizzie will be talking sports. peaceful protests and why the flag ain't the problem. Jam talks Rudy Giuliani. Giuliani. I can't even say his name right. And his amazing leadership on 9/11. Oh wait, no, I mean, actually, no, just more lies from Rudy and his boy Trump. Z will be talking about anti-maskers' arrest in New York, and I'll be talking about that racist QAnon supporter who will now likely be a U.S. Congresswoman. So just keep in mind, our show is streaming live everywhere: YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, and Twitter at TLS Live Show, and you can also watch us at truthliveshenanigans.com. All right, TLS friends, we need your help. Last show, we asked you to simply invite 2 friends you think might be interested in watching us. And that was a huge help in getting the word out. Our viewership was way up, so thank you to you guys. So we're asking again, just take a minute, mention your friends in the comments, just using that @ in their names. Help us jumpstart these social media. Just 2 friends is fine. You can do more if you want. But we want to jumpstart these social media algorithms so Facebook will automatically start sharing us out. That's all we're trying to do. All right? And of course, we love it when you're joining the conversation. We'll be checking those comments on all of our live feeds and responding to you live on air. All right, host, let's do a quick check-in. What's everyone been doing this weekend? Lizzie, what you up to?
Let's see. Yesterday I slept.
Always a
Friday,
good thing.
Yeah, Monday, Wednesday, Friday is a long day for me. I've said this 1,000 times, but I'm teaching 6 classes for the semester. So by the end of the day on Friday, I am drained. So I took my Stoli bottle, went to bed. I rejuvenated today and, ready for the hot topics, ready for the shenanigans.
All right, Jan, what you got going on?
Oh, we hit the REI yesterday for camping gear so we can camp out in the yard again, which is random but sort of fun.
Camp in the yard.
And it was a lot of fun. And we got a bike. Like, bikes are in super short supply. If you go to any store.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
Like,
I've noticed that.
Yeah, REI had like 1 return bike for under $500. All the other ones were over $2,000. Like, come on.
Wow.
2,000, that's a Chanel purse. I ain't paying that for no bike. That's a purse.
That's a channel purse. Channel.
All right, Z, what's going on with you?
Nothing. I'm good. My home gym is finally complete.
Nice.
I got 110 pounds worth of adjustable dumbbells and barbell. I have my stepper with 4 risers for each side. I got my spin bike. I got mats. I'm ready to get back into it. I got to get rid of this COVID weight, yo.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
These COVID pounds, girl. Woo.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, between that and having to get ready for whatever happens after, November 3rd, I got to get back into fighting shape, y'all,
Yeah.
Hence the outfit.
That's right. I'm always ready. Always ready. Always ready for battle.
I'm like Lizzie. I got to sleep in a little bit today, but we're actually doing some remodeling on the house. So, a busy weekend. We had some flooring put in. So, been a busy weekend. Floor looks great though. Looks pretty awesome.
Sounds very adult.
I don't know.
You talking hardwood, tile,
hardwood?
Zirconium?
Yeah, hardwood always. Yeah, hardwood. Yeah, we pulled carpet out and put in hardwood. Yeah. Yep. All right. Now, I see we have a bunch of regulars on our show today, but if you've never seen our show, let me tell you a little bit about what Truth, Lies, and Shenanigans is all about. We'll be sharing our truths and opinions with you, calling out the lies out there and pointing out those crazy shenanigans that are going on. But most importantly on this show, we try to have a lot of fun with shenanigans of our own. But we do have one rule for the host, and that is no cussing.
Shut your mouth!
Wait, now I have a question about this no cussing. I have a question. I know it's been months now that I've joined the crew, but I have a question.
What's the question?
Does that include hand gestures?
Jam?
Back in our articles, we found it in 1876. There's an explicit reference that I don't know.
Forget it.
I don't think we specified hand gestures.
Oh. Oh,
Hand jars, like a hand jive, baby? Is that what you're
I don't think we
saying?
specified hand gestures, did we, Jam? I don't remember.
I think we did, and that counts as like 58 for Liz.
yeah.
Oh, that gets expensive. Let's see where she's at right now. Hold on. Oh, 90. Oh, so we need to start adding some points to that. Okay, let me.
I'm not aware that it doesn't count. And he asked our king, Neo, he didn't know, so it doesn't count.
Did he say he didn't? I mean, can we go back to? Can we visit that moment again?
Yeah, let me do the instant replay. Hold on.
We're live. Tell us live.
I'm gonna add instant replay to the show. I'm gonna have to do that.
Let's
All
revisit
right.
that next week.
So if you're caught cussing 3 times in the same show, you will be writing a letter to Trump himself, and it's a love letter. So we don't want that to happen. But Lizzie's way in the lead on the $10. So
I love to hate you, Trump POTUS. I love to hate you.
love it. There you go. And that'll be what you'll send, I guess. All right. Well, let's jump into the hot topics.
Truth, lies, shenanigans.
All right. The way Hot Topics works, each of our hosts comes with topics in the news they want to discuss. They'll tell us about their hot topic, ask a question, we'll start our timer, and our hosts will discuss. Once time is up, we'll see our friend Gingy.
Come on,
Hopefully.
Gingy.
And he'll let us know the time is up. We'll move on to the next host and their topic and talk about whatever they want to talk about. Again, make sure you're sharing your thoughts and feelings and questions because we'll be listening and responding to your comment. All right, today we're going to start with our ray of sunshine, Z. Truth, lies, or shenanigans, Z? Truth, lies, or shenanigans?
You know, for once, I'm usually flip-floppy, but I'm putting this firmly in the shenanigans file because I think most of the people who claim this particular thing are full of you know what. So anyway,
Say it.
Shenanigans.
no, I'm not getting
Full of
shenanigans.
shenanigans.
Full of shenanigans.
Yeah.
Full of them. Full of them.
Full of shenanigans.
So last week, a Brooklyn couple was handcuffed and removed from a New York City ferry for refusing to wear masks. And the whole time they were claiming, a medical exemption, and they can't wear masks, and this is discrimination, and they're going to sue, and all of this stuff. And in addition to this story, also this week, New York announced that there's going to be $50 fines for anyone riding public transportation, so city buses, subways, commuter trains, etc., without a mask, effective tomorrow. So my question to the panel, I guess I have kind of a couple of questions, but here it is. Barring HIPAA laws, we're not going to even consider that right now.
Yeah.
Do you think people claiming medical exemption should have to carry around some kind of proof of it? One. If so, what should that proof be and who should it come from? And if you have time, what do you think of the fine? The
Okay.
public transportation fine.
Let's start with Jam.
I think the fine is absolutely wonderful. And I think Fauci should be the one who has to sign the affidavit everybody has to show, because that would be awesome. But yeah, that's what I think. I think it's pretty straightforward. Like the government, I don't care who signs it, but it should just be known, because all that trash, like it's clearly a huge public health risk. Like it ain't no little thing, ain't no BS. And as much as New York's trying to push everybody to go back, can we try to pretend to stay healthy just a little bit? That's all.
All right, Lizzie.
And what do you think of the
that's
medical
right.
exemption?
Yeah, medical exemption. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What do you think about the medical exemption?
And what?
Oh, I thought that was included in the. Well, I think it's.
Okay.
I think it's.
Okay.
I mean, I think a medical exemption could be there, but it's again somebody have to sign it. There have to be something like that we would know, but it would still get dicey because then you need like the cops running around talking about, "Let me see your papers," Starts to feel like
Exactly.
All right, Lizzie.
One, as it relates to the fine, I think $50 is not enough. These are public, legal, state local and federal mandates. So I think the minimum fine should be $200 and should go up for each additional infraction. We got to get serious with these people because a lot of these anti-maskers are attacking folks. So we have to start getting serious if we want to implement this as a standard moving forward. Then we have to get serious about it. In terms of whether or not people should have to show their exemption papers, absolutely. 100%. Otherwise, anybody can just go outside and be like,
Right.
oh, I don't have to wear a mask. My doctor said I don't have to wear a mask. I mean,
Right.
when you go to school and you want to get exempt for an absence, you have to get a doctor's note, right? So why not in this situation? If you want to, if you live in a state where marijuana isn't legal, but you claim that you are allowed to smoke medicinal marijuana, you have to get a medicinal marijuana card. So why not the same for this? So yeah, I think absolutely people, if that's what you're going to claim, you are going to go into a public space that already has on the doors, that already has all of these signs saying that you have to wear a mask, and you're claiming that, oh, my doctor said I don't have to wear one. Prove it. Prove it.
Quick comment online. Leonidas Childress says, "Find them and lock them up," and then Jacqueline, "Show me the papers." So my
Show
thought
me the
is,
receipt.
yeah,
Show me the
Show me your papers.
my thought is, I was happy to see the fine for sure. I agree with the fine. I don't know if $200 is. I don't know if I'm feeling that one, but because and the only reason this is the only reason. Sometimes I have forgotten, and I've mentioned it on the show. I've forgotten my mask, or I forgot to do it. It wasn't because I intentionally was trying to put someone in danger, but I'm hearing that happens a lot to a lot of people, where they forgot to
Liz,
put their masks on.
Liz, have you forgotten sometimes that you're not supposed to cuss on the show? Have you forgotten?
No,
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm just,
it's been
2 points.
it's been intentional.
I'm asking. Oh, you just messed it up. I was asking for Neo. You just messed it up. Thanks, Liz. All right.
so so I mean I'm cool with the fine though, because even if you make a mistake, you should pay for that mistake. But $200 seems like a lot for a mistake.
But I
Now,
bet you won't. I bet you won't forget that mask if
but
$200
no,
is
I
on.
still I have an issue with forgetting stuff, so no, I probably still forget it. But at the same token, I think I agree with the increasing amount. I could buy into that increasing amount of the fine, but not necessarily the first fine $200 and then you increase it up to $500-$600, and
All right. That's crazy.
I think that's a bit much to me.
Right. I mean, come on now. Come on. Chance
Outside
up.
of that, as far as the papers, real quick, I think that's a slippery slope with the papers. I agree with Jam a little bit with the give me your show me your papers type thing. But at the same time, um, papers are necessary. You have to have some proof that you have some exemption, and you have to be able to have an exemption of some sort. Um, and I think it needs to come from, like, there has to be like a specific form that you probably have to fill out, or a doctor has to fill out, and they have to sign it, or maybe the whatever government it is, New York or whomever, has a specific form that they have to fill out and sign, and that a doctor has to provide that. And that's the only thing you can do. But it is a slippery slope, but I think it's kind of a necessary evil. But
I
Zeke,
don't
you have
Well,
necessarily.
I kind of I equate it to the emotional support dogs. All of a sudden, everybody had an emotional support dog
Right.
that
True.
they shouldn't have to pay for it, or book in advance a seat for on a plane, or whatever. So I do think that there should be some kind of a medical exemption card, or some kind of identifier that has been signed by an actual physician, and not Dr. Zismore or whatever, like a real doctor, real doctor, and that's it. Yeah.
Or not
My
even
emotion.
just sign a position, also have a seal on it. Like,
Right.
when you
Yeah,
go to
see,
get
I agree with the
the
seal. Yep.
you have a seal on it, otherwise anyone can
Right.
sign it. But I don't think it's a fair comparison, or even an equal comparison, to say it's like, Nazi Germany, show me your papers. In that instance, the government or law enforcement were just walking up to random people who had done nothing. These are people who are willingly saying, I have this condition. Okay, well, since you are saying that, then prove it. Prove it.
It,
The
it just
onus
seems,
is.
Right.
it seems to me. I hear you, and I partially agree, but it seems to me it's very much on the cusp of that. Like it's
We don't do
okay.
partials. We don't do partials.
I don't know because it would be going into the subway, getting on the bus, but that's literally 5 steps away from walking down the street. Like in DC, the mask thing is you're supposed to be masked up unless you're like have a young child or very few. So it's very similar. A cop wants to mess with you.
Oh.
I'm saying a cop wants.
I would be the one who is saying, no, my doctor said I have this condition, which a lot of people are saying there is no condition, first of all, which is why there is no actual card. All of those cards that you see online are fake. There is no anti-mask medical condition card. They're fake, first of all. But if you're going to put that information out there, it's up to you to prove it. So no partials.
I like one of these comments. Can I read a comment?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, next up.
Mike Wolf says that.
Yeah, I laughed at that too.
He's like, realistically, there are no conditions that would keep you from being able to wear a mask. And if you're that fragile, you shouldn't be riding the subway.
Right.
Absolutely, because you can catch a lot more than COVID.
And anecdotal from Reuben Gordon. The people I've come across with a legit excuse are apoplectic about not wearing a mask and are willing to try to come to a safe solution to the problem. The ones without the actual excuse are the ones who are confrontational.
By the way, Ade pointed out that Z is suited up and ready for combat.
Always.
And I need my ferret to help me to guide me, my guide ferret to help guide me through the world. So I don't appreciate you bringing up guide animals as a thing like that because he's important. He helps me walk straight and stuff. So just so you know.
Listen.
Ade says they should, 1, have a valid medical exemption with verifiable proof. 2, make the fines as stiff as possible. Rules are only as good as compliance. Compliance is only as good as enforcement.
Bam.
Absolutely.
You are hired.
Jacqueline Robinson pointed out Israel just imposed a second lockdown as their cases rise, which,
what?
Some of us going back to work,
Who's going back to work?
Not me. I'm still teleworking. Not that that means anything. My workload is increased.
Well, wish me luck. I'll be back out there.
Uh-oh.
That should be another show, though, about how teleworking has increased our workload. Like, crazy. No one wants to talk about that. I am twice as busy now as I was back in February pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I really am.
But we're going to, do a little seance. We're going to burn some sage for you tonight, Z. As you go back into the office this week, you will be on our mind. So, yeah, girl.
I just want to point out, Rupka agreed with Lizzie. We got a couple of, she says, but who is really going to enforce it? Seems employees and stores are afraid to enforce the policy as is. And then
I did think this would be different than that.
Ade says Lizzie is not having the excuse. Jeffrey Brilski says, wear a goddamn mask, people, so we can get back to life again. It's a cloth covering. It's not a big deal.
Better let him know. Let him know, baby. Let him know.
Jacqueline Robinson, exactly, sis. I'm working harder and I'm more exhausted now than I'm working mostly from home.
Right.
So Z, my sister Jackie is also a paralegal. And so she's been going in, throughout this whole thing. Not every day, but I think a few times a week. So she's right there with you, having to go back into the office.
All right.
Yeah. No, the whole summer I've only had to go in once a week. So I've been really lucky. And I'm just going to go in positive that every week that I go in, I'm going to be covered and safe, and the COVID is not going to get me.
All right. We wish you the best for sure.
Pam,
you are next up for a hot topic. Is this a truth, lie, or shenanigans?
It's a truth, but it's a freaking shenanigan. Dang it. Ridiculous government. So Giuliani, our hero, distanced himself from Ukrainian sanctioned by U.S. as Russian agent. So here's the thing. On Thursday, the Treasury Department announced that this dude, Andriy Durkak, or it's probably badly pronounced, but I don't really care. He's a spy. Who's a member of the Ukrainian parliament, He was also announced by the Treasury Department to be a Russian spy, a good one, I might add. Like they're like an experienced one. This Bama, and the reason this is important is because he only came up because they were investigating Hunter Biden. Y'all remember that when they're like Hunter Biden had his dealings in
Yes.
Ukraine? The only reason they found him is because they were investigating that. And it comes to find out that Giuliani had more dealings with him. And the thing about this spy is he literally edited and created all this misinformation, all this nonsense we're hearing and have heard about Biden and Ukraine. He's the one, his group has been the one creating it. That's part of the reason the Treasury identified him. And so Giuliani's quote was to NPR in his reply to "I have what do you know about this?" Giuliani was, "I never tried to influence the election, and my work with him was over months ago, well before the election. He had no unique information that wasn't already known, except 5.3 billion, and that is being investigated in Ukraine." So uh, I don't know if you guys remember, which of our presidents got impeached for dealing with Ukraine and messing with that money? I'm not going to throw out any names. But so my question to the group is,
I'm still surprised that the Democrats aren't reminding everybody that he is actually an impeached president.
It's
right,
just
right.
slow. The things are slow. They're slow. Like it takes them a while to catch up.
So my
It takes them a while.
question to the group is this still Biden's issue?
Is this still
What?
Biden's
still-
issue?
Is this still Biden? Because remember, Hunter Biden was the reason this came up. Is this still Biden? Is Giuliani and the super Russian spy Biden's issue to deal with?
I was busy.
Unfortunately, because Hunter Biden is the shady Bama, he's always going to be his daddy's issue. He's always going to be Joe Biden's issue. However, I don't think, because it has been proven that there was no connection, there was no wrongdoing by either Joe or Hunter. And so, no, I don't think this is Biden's issue as Julius or as Jam is talking about it. It's the same with Hillary Clinton, and the emails. Hillary Clinton and Benghazi, like that was proven time and time again to be a non-issue, but the Republicans kept wanting to bring it up because they had nothing else. So no, I don't think that this is Biden's issue. I think now if they keep talking about it, they keep squawking about it, it's going to be Trump's issue because Giuliani is his lawyer. Giuliani is his boy. And now we see that he has consistently had contact with a spy, with a Russian spy, secret agent man. So let him keep going. Let him keep going. This is turning into a Trump issue.
Yeah, the investigation. I mean, it was pushed by Trump, and he wanted to be Hunter Biden investigated for all these things, and I mean to find out that Giuliani can't get his name right for some reason today. Maybe I don't want to. I don't know.
Yeah, like why?
The sign.
I'll just call him Rudy. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, Rudy was doing all kind of shady stuff over there, and we know it. It's just that now, by forcing the investigation, now we're just getting more of the stuff that he was doing. So, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous to even be investigating this at this point. I mean, he was an impeached president because of this. He should have been taken out of office, if not for the Senate, being majority, Mitch McConnell leading that up, but he should have been kicked out of the office altogether. But anyway, with that being said, this is not Biden's issue. There is no issue there. It's like all these conspiracy theories and are just coming out just to try to get Trump reelected. It's a shame, actually. See?
Yeah, no, I think that I agree with both of you guys. I think that this is not Biden's issue. I think they're going to turn it into Giuliani's issue. I mean, excuse me, Trump's issue if they continue to poke at the whole Hunter Biden thing. And I'm not surprised that all of a sudden he's doing the two-step backwards, and side to side, and all of a sudden he don't know him like that, like I don't even know.
Right?
You know what it is? It's just one of these things where I can't even form a coherent thought because it's so stupid. It's just so stupid that I'm just, okay, so you knew him. He had secrets. He knew everything. Oh, now you don't know him. Ah, shut up. That's how I feel about it. That's how I feel about it. Like, just what? Why are we? And what's the guy's name? Andre Dirtbag?
Yeah. Oh,
Is that the Russian agent's name?
that's how you
What's his
pronounce it.
What's his name? Andre Dirtbag? I mean, that
Russian
should tell you something right there.
That's a good call, Z.
fire.
Well, I'm just saying. So surprise, surprise.
I would like to point out today I was torn between that article and another one where U.S. Attorney John Durham's assistant they're investigating the investigation of the Russian investigation. Well, his assistant resigned on Friday. She was like, and you already know they're evil. So wow. Anyway,
She like,
What is-
wait, there's no more?
like
I mean,
hot mess.
I mean, that whole administration is
I-
shady. It's just ridiculous.
I heard a joke or a story. It's not a joke; it's the truth. About how line dances came about. And it was really about a secret way to tell you how to get away from master, how to get to the north. You take 2 steps to the train station, or you know what I mean. And now I'm just thinking about it in terms of this, and it's like, well, maybe this is how line dancing for like cowboys and stuff started. For all these Republican cowboys. Let me 2 step to the back. I never said that to the right. I don't know him to the left. Like, what?
I didn't actually know that's what line dances were. I knew the songs from slavery, but I didn't know line dances was on.
Yeah, they said that's how they started. That was that when you hear like these Cupid shuffles and all of that stuff, it came from secret ways to tell people how to run away, the Underground Railroad.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Cupid Shuffle being the first.
Point. Can I make a quick point? Remember the Republican Party that we grew up with
Mm-hmm.
in the 80s
I do.
and the 90s when the Cold War was still in existence, where you would have been shot sight unseen if you had been caught colluding with the Russians?
Mm-hmm.
Now look at where we are.
Mm-hmm.
Now look at
And it's only
It's
because prior to Trump, they still were feeling like that. I mean, not only that, his supporters felt that way. But as soon as Trump is like, oh, oh, I love me some Putin, now everybody, all the Republican parties, like, yeah, we love Putin too.
Yeah,
I mean,
So
right?
you say Putin. You say Putin. I said Putin. He loves him some Putin.
that's
Trump
funny.
I got that poutine. So we
Hey.
All right,
so
so
let me read through.
go ahead,
Let me get
Dan.
into these comments real quick. So Jackie Robinson's Giuliani is IQ 45's lawyer, and Donnie Jr. and the other kids are nepotism blessed. So
I'm pretty
maybe
sure she didn't call him Giuliani.
Thank you,
Guliani.
Giuliani.
That's what I can say that easier. I need to start saying that. Giuliani.
Giuliani. So maybe they need to keep Hunter's name out of their mouth. And he says, secret agent Jesse Guliani.
Mouth to himself. That's what he needs to do. But that's another comment.
Ruka asked about my watermelon. It was very good, Ruka.
I was going to say, he talking about that snack. Middle show, you up here.
Why'd you leave the close up on Liz?
You need to go faster next time.
And Jackie says that's because Russia's been funneling campaign donations to them through the NRA and other organizations. That's it.
All right, cool.
Get him, Z.
All right. Good topic, Z. Good topic. All right, before I go into the next hot topic, I noticed we have a bunch of new viewers online. If you're enjoying the show, help us out. Get the word out, please. We're asking, just mention 2 of your friends in the comment section of the feed that you think might be interested in joining us. We definitely appreciate and need the support of our viewers. So, all right.
Absolutely.
So the next hot topic, this one's all mine, Is this truth, lies, or shenanigans? This is definitely all shenanigans and a little few lies. But definitely a lot of shenanigans going on for sure. All right, so there's a lot to unravel here. So bear with me on this. So the Democratic candidate for open U.S. House seat in Georgia dropped out of the race Friday, clearing a near certain path to victory for this QAnon supporting Republican contender. Her name is Marjorie Taylor Greene. And she's been criticized for ridiculous racist comments, right? Now, for those who have not seen our previous shows where we've talked about QAnon, let me first tell you a little bit about QAnon, and then we'll get into Miss Marjorie Green. So QAnon is the name of a far-right conspiracy theory that believes that there is a deep state plot against Donald Trump that's slowly being exposed online by this anonymous leader named Q. Q, as it turns out, may have started out as one person, but now is multiple people working to spread conspiracy theories and other forms of disinformation, from everything to COVID to even Trump code words like Liz's favorite Kofifi.
Kofifi.
The main theory, though, alleges that a group of Satan-worshipping pedophiles are running a global child sex trafficking ring. Some of you guys in DC might remember the Pizzagate at the Comet Pizza in Northwest DC. Now, those deep state operatives are plotting against Trump, who is supposedly actively battling them as well. And supposedly there's going to be soon some arrests with people in the media. But anyway, it's absolutely crazy, this QAnon stuff.
So, question.
Yeah.
So, does that mean pizza itself is part of QAnon or anti-QAnon? I'm just checking.
So, supposedly, the Comet Pizza was the place where all the pedophiles and the child sex trafficking was occurring.
Okay.
And Hillary's
Well, kids love pizza. Kids love pizza.
Hillary Clinton was supposedly at the crux of that. So.
Okay.
Listen, how else do you entice the kids?
Yeah, you gotta get right. Pizza. Comet Pizza.
All
right,
candy.
So on to our friend Marjorie Green. I think the best way to introduce you to her is in her own words.
There is an Islamic invasion into our government offices right now. We had that woman out of Minnesota. Now she's going into Congress and she's got to wear a head covering. They want to put their hand on the Quran and be sworn in. No, you have to be sworn in on the Bible. They brutalize women. They throw gay people off of buildings. It is not a place for justice. No. This is a place where the men over there, they can have sex with anybody they want. They have sex with little boys, little girls, multiple women. They marry as many women as they want. They marry their sisters, their cousins.
All lies.
I'm sorry. That is not dignity. That is not justice.
No different
that is
than what
not
happens
compassion.
here.
That's not love for humanity. Let me explain something to you, Mohammed. Let me explain. We already have equality and justice for all Americans. Muslims are not being held back in any way. That's our Constitution, our Bill of Rights guarantees everyone equality and justice. But what you people want is special treatment. You want to rise above us, and that's what we're against. Yeah, they should stay in their countries and make their countries great again, right?
The generations of Black and Hispanic men, do you want to know what holds them down? Gangs. Being in gangs and dealing drugs is what holds them down. The lack of education is what holds them down. That's not a white person thing. I'm going to stand up for white males here. The most mistreated group of people in the United States today are white males. They are blamed for everything. It is not fair that white men are treated that way. There are white people that have done all kinds of things wrong. But guess what? Slavery is over. And the civil rights era, thank God it happened, because everyone in this country has equal rights. Black people have equal rights. White people have equal rights. We all do as Americans. We all have equal rights. But that doesn't make me a racist because
Here she's talking about the statues, the conservative statues.
As I say, leave the statue up there. If I were Black people today and I walked by one of those statues, I would be so proud because I'd say, look how far I have come in this country. Look how far my people have, what they have overcome. And these are good things.
Now, yes, this is likely our next Congresswoman in Georgia. Now that Kevin Van Osdale bowed out of the race for personal and family reasons, was his reasons, quote. Now, she was expected to win anyway, but it seems very odd that he dropped out shortly after the 60-day deadline for anyone else to be added to the ballot to oppose her. All right, so Lizzie, I know you got a lot to say. Feel free to comment on any of this nonsense. But my question is, in the vein of QAnon conspiracy theories, do you have any theories as to why he so oddly dropped out of the race? I'll go ahead and start with, I was going to start with Jam, but let's start with Lizzie.
I'm just looking at Jam. Jam's trying to, like, channel his inner, where's this coming from? First and foremost, is Georgia not becoming the new Florida in this country? Like, do we
Oh
have
my God,
Yeah.
yes.
Good call.
now add Georgia to the list of states that need to just secede from the union, that we just want to cut out, carve them out of the 50 states here? Maybe if we got rid of Georgia and Florida, we can move in DC and Puerto Rico. Like, I don't know, that should be something we should talk about in a future show. But let me just go back to her point that people being sworn in on anything but the Bible.
Yeah.
Particularly, she talked about the senator in Minnesota who was sworn in on the Quran and how that's offensive and how that's not allowed. If this particular woman wants to join Congress, then she needs to know the rules of the Constitution, which do not state that you have to be sworn in on the Bible. In actuality, the Constitution of the United States states that no religious test shall ever be required as a qualification to any office or public trust under the United States government. Teddy Roosevelt did not use a Bible when he was sworn in. John Quincy Adams swore on a book of law. So we need to stop, we need to call these people out on all of their racism and saying, oh, you need to be sworn in on the Bible. The Bible has nothing to do with the Constitution. We left the Britons, we left England, we left, Europe because we wanted religious freedom. That religious freedom does not include being forced to be sworn in on the Bible. So let's get that straight first and foremost. As it relates to a conspiracy, I don't know, because honestly, I don't know the person who was running against her. I don't know what he may have going on in his personal life. Does it seem a little shady? Yeah. Do I think Neo is trying to suggest that he might have been like, a covert op for the other side? In cahoots with the other side? Perhaps. But that's something that I want to focus on. The fact that we should be concerned about is that she was slated to win regardless of who she was running against. And that is scary because she talks a lot of BS, a lot of untruths, a lot of fake news in those segments that we just saw.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be able to comment too much on her, except for I remember the gang we grew up in, Neo, and we used to cut them off. Oh, sorry, can't
A DC
no
crew.
limit.
DC crew.
No limit on a car club.
The car crew.
No limit on a murder. So we're not gonna mention that. We used to kill them math problems.
Yeah, all them drugs, that ibuprofen and acetaminophen, all them drugs we was taking.
So I have no words to adequately express how asinine she sounds. So I'm going to leave that alone for now. But in terms of the person who's running against her, my understanding was the district was so red that when they ran, they thought they were going to see if they could pull all those like independents and people who might be on the fence. And my thought is just that they saw that nothing was moving and it didn't even make sense. Like if they want to have a future political career, have taken a loss wasn't worth it in that particular district. That was my take on it. That lady, and I use that word loosely, can go sit in a fountain.
Say it.
Can go sit in a fountain and think about her life. Z, your turn.
So before I get to my conspiracy theories, can I just say that obviously this dumb bee has never watched A Handmaid's Tale. And, to be defending white men as hard as she is, because once they get rid of us, they coming for her behind next. So I don't know what she's talking about and why she's going so hard for them, because they will turn on her next. So that's number one. As for my conspiracy theories, I went to two places. One, yes, the candidate was in cahoots. He was always a Republican, and this was always the intention. This was always the plan. Or number two, the Republicans threatened his life and it was like a Taken situation. And they didn't have Liam Neeson there to like come and save the girl. So they were like, let's just give up. Like, we don't want to, we don't want to lose her to Russian traffickers at the pizza place in DC.
They took his parent.
So whatever theory they're pushing right now. So those are my conspiracy theories. Either his life was threatened, they were going to sell his daughter off to the Pizzagate pedophile ring, so he dropped out, or he was always in cahoots with them, and this was the plan, and they're partying somewhere right now drinking Cristal.
Yeah, one of my initial thoughts was that they probably had some pictures of him or something, or like from the movies or something. They had some pictures with him, some woman, some affair or something like that, or but again, with the QAnon thing, it's I'd go deeper and say, he was a agent. He might even be a Russian spy. Who knows, right? You're muted, Liz. We can't hear you, Liz. You're muted.
I didn't want y'all to hear me coughing. I said we got 2 Russian spies on the show. Who knew? That's
right.
First.
But don't believe your lying eyes, though. They weren't really cool with us like that. We didn't know them like that.
As far as this ridiculous Marjorie Greene, hold on. Ridiculous. When I was and understand, I clipped a lot of what she said out. I tried to pick some of the things that we talk about, but it was vile. Some of the things that she said, vile. Some of the things I put on here was vile. Just think about the last thing that she said when she's talking about, oh, if I was black and I was looking at these Confederate Army statues, I would be so proud. I would be, I'd be happy of where we come. That's like a Jew looking at a Hitler statue and saying, oh, you should look at a Hitler statue and feel so proud about where you came from and how you got to where you are. Ridiculous. Where's the thinking coming from? I don't even get where the thought process to say something like that comes from.
Why are you assuming thinking?
And then
that's not what this is.
Then going after talking about, I have white males, and white males are the most abused group in the United States. Really? Really?
Because she's trying to take care of her guilt. You know what I'm saying? By trying to turn it around and say, look at all of the great songs R. Kelly came out with, thanks to having to run away, be a runaway slave and get to, through the underground. Look at where it came from that. Like, you should be happy, y'all. Look at how fit y'all are that they want to, and they did a whole movie called Get Out about taking over your bodies because y'all are so fit, because genetically speaking, we've been beating your behinds for so long that your body's toughened up. Like, oh my God. Like,
you also bring up the point in terms of, white males being persecuted in this country. We've had, and I'm not going to include Andrew Johnson because that was a little bit different and it was before most of our viewers' times here. But since Andrew Johnson, we've had 2 white presidents who were impeached while they were in office and still were able to maintain that office. So that goes to show you how much white males are celebrated in this country and how, regardless of what they do, they can't be touched. So I don't want to hear any nonsense about how there's a war on white males. White males still run this country for better or worse.
I need to cut you off, Liz, because I had a discussion last Sunday about race not existing. It is a construct that we do not have to recognize. And my friend here, Neo, he can explain it better than me. But you have to understand when you look at his eyes that race is not what it's about, okay?
It was actually, and this is exactly why race was created.
Well, meanwhile, did you guys hear the story of the
you just made my point for me. Thank you.
No, there was a Latina woman who just got fired. She had been working for her job at Rite Aid for, I don't know, years, okay?
Yes.
And they fired her because she defended herself. She was getting beat up by a man who didn't want to wear a mask in her store. She defended herself and corporate fired her. $11 an hour job. Only infraction. She's like, I've never even been written up once. Meanwhile, you have 2 white presidents impeached and they get to keep their job.
Damn, you had something you wanted to say.
Oh, you mean something for real? No, I mean I think it's we're in agreement about the difference of treatment of race, but this comes down to so much more. I think in the end, it's just her playing to the Trump sales pitch, and more importantly, it's more it makes the division in our country more evident. You know, we're going toward the ends and stuff. Hard right wing, hard left wing, and that middle lane. You know, the middle lane's just it's emptier and emptier. No more moderates. Just crazy, crazy.
All right. Let's get to some of these online. I'll let you take over. But Jeanette Brown says, and she's trying to protect her white boys, which you do want to do as a white woman, but I intend to do it by helping my white boy grow up into a decent man who recognizes his privilege and use it to give privilege to the underprivileged.
Lakeisha.
Awesome.
That's our girl,
Awesome.
Jeanette.
Yep. Get up, Jeanette. Jackie Robinson, thank you. They wanted to impeach Obama simply because he won. Let's see what we got. Daria, read. Oh, I'm going to mispronounce this one. Crevocier's letter from an American farmer. We need to read and know the history of America.
Of course.
And have American names for the writers. Anyone else? I think that's about it.
Yeah.
So for
Rupka says, okay, Professor Lizzie, educated melanin. I like that one.
I don't know if I can see my melody now. I am very bright. I am very bright.
But you're very clear today, so it's really good. Reuben says, lies. No congressperson needs to know the rules or anything about the Constitution. Ernest Cooper, leave Atlanta and carve out Georgia. I like that one. Jeanette Brown says, I am so proud to look at a statue of someone who thinks I wasn't a full human. I'm so sure that makes all kinds of
that is inspiring.
People feel great.
That is so inspiring.
Salai says, my inner She-Hulk wants to bust out. I gotta admit, that's what I felt like when I was listening to her, because I was doing these clips, and I'm like, I just was like, really? This is what we're bringing into the Congress? This is it? I mean, now granted, the Republicans supposedly denounced her, but anyway.
But I remember when she won and she beat out like the more moderate person, they were already appalled. Now, if you're the Democrat and you see that, just in defense of your original question, like, what are you looking at as a community? Yeah. I mean, come on, you know? Anyway.
All right, Lizzie. Truth, Lies, Shenanigans.
This is truth, but truths that I bring up are always laced with some BS shenanigans. So we are talking about sports today. The NFL 2020 season kicked off on Thursday with a game between the defending Super Bowl champs Kansas City Chiefs and the Houston Texans. So before the game started, both teams got together, not during the anthem. So there was no anthem played during this time, but both teams got together and locked hands for a united moment of silence to acknowledge all that has been going on in the country since the last time they played, if you will. But everything that's been going on in the country over the summer as it relates to race relations and social injustice. And wouldn't you know that during this time, when they were having a moment of silence for unity, the Kansas City Chiefs fans who were in attendance, because there were fans that were there, booed. Booed. So my question to you all as the panel is, why are they booing? There was no anthem. There was no aversion to any flag or anything political. So why are they booing?
I'll jump in. I want to jump in. So, excuse me. I mean, it has nothing to do with the flag. It has nothing to do with the anthem. This all has to do about control. It's not that they don't want us to disrespect the flag or disrespect the anthem. It's that they don't want us to protest at all. They want you to just take it. That's what it comes down to. And so if you're not just taking it, then, and you're any type of protest, doing any type of protest, then they are against that. They don't like that. But the problem is, none of us at this point are willing to take it anymore. So they're just gonna have to deal with it. Z?
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of piggyback on what you just said, I think the three things that causes a reaction like that are guilt, discomfort, and like Neo said, control. You know, deep down inside, they know who they are and they know how they really feel and they know it's wrong. And that's why their immediate reaction is to get mad and defensive and, and to attack, to get on the offense, immediately. And it's because they know deep down that their ideas and their actions are not right, and they're not going to be right with their Lord that they love to, espouse so much. There's discomfort. There's discomfort when you feel guilt, right? Nobody likes to feel guilty. It doesn't feel good. You're sitting there worrying, thinking about what people think about you, consequences. No one wants to deal with that. So I gotta fight you. Why are you making me uncomfortable in my space? And then, like Neo said, control. When the Constitution was written, my husband said this the other day, and I was just looking at him like so much pride, because he was just like, the Constitution was not written for anybody but white land owning men. That's
Thank
it.
you.
For white women, not for brown people. Thank you, Jeff, right? Not for anybody but white land owning. That's important because white poor men weren't anything either. White land owning men. So, and that has always been the case. And it's been put in. It's hard to crack, as you can see. We're still dealing with this. How many hundreds of years later? So to see that being challenged, even in the most respectful way, is still, you're not shutting up and taking. This wasn't meant for you. Be happy you're even allowed to play and entertain us. Like, don't
That's a
burst
great
my
statement.
bubble. Just be happy you can entertain. Be happy we're paying you. Like,
Mhm.
shut up.
Shut up and dribble. Shut up and throw that ball. Before Jim, let me just go to what JJ Watt had to say. So JJ Watt is a defensive end for the Houston Texans, one of the teams that was playing on Thursday. And so he spoke about the boos. He said the moment of unity I personally thought was good. I mean, the booing during that moment was unfortunate. I don't fully understand that. There was no flag involved. There was nothing involved other than the two teams coming together to show unity. So even JJ Watt was like, what the F are you guys doing? What do you want from us? Jam, what do they want from them?
I think y'all covered that pretty well. Obedience. So, in quietude. Like, so when I read it, my first thought was, oh, Kansas City, surprise. Like, come on, it's Kansas City. Like, if they were at the Washington team stadium, you wouldn't heard nonsense like that. People wouldn't have been booing. Why? Because there are enough people of color there to look over at their neighbors and be like, go ahead and boo. Go ahead.
I dare
Because
you.
people, right, like you don't have to say it, but like, really, oh, that's what's coming out your mouth? Like, come on. So it's a different, in my opinion at least, it's a different experience of what it is. It's the experience of being privileged in a place where it's comfortable to be privileged. And in that case, if you can afford to pay for those tickets to the game that has already been where fans are already secluded, without a doubt, if you boo or you don't feel like agreeing with people or the players are getting together saying something that you don't like, you can boo and get that BS. It'll fly. That's what is done to get the approval and to continue to make that approval all right in your head. So I wasn't surprised at all. And what they want is that obedience and the continued are for the NFL to quiet it down. And so the question comes in my mind whether the NFL, because it's the NFL, whether they start listening or not. Because okay, well, next time maybe we don't have the players do that, because that's a Goodell move. That wouldn't be surprising for me either. What would be surprising more is like, okay, they didn't like that. Let's rank it up a little bit. So that's what I'd like to see.
Lizzie?
Well, remember, they were quiet initially. They let Trump influence them initially from the moment Cap first took that knee to when Trump got on television and, implored them to fire any player who dared to take a knee during the anthem. to when he was, accused of collusion with the NFL, which Cap won a settlement for because he was advising NFL teams on whether or not they should recruit Cap or bring them onto their roster. So yeah, they were a part of this. They were silent for a long time. And then all of a sudden, once all of the protests and the social unrest started over the summer, the NFL decided to have a conscience for whatever reason. And so then you saw the apology from Goodell, the acknowledgement from Goodell that maybe we should have been listening to Cap 4 years ago and we wouldn't be where we are right now. But this isn't just the NFL. It's happening in tennis as well. So we had Naomi Osaka, who is
Yay!
biracial, half Japanese, half Haitian, tennis champion. She just won the US Open last night, her second US Open. She acknowledged at the beginning of the tournament for, if you're going to win the tournament, you have to play 7 matches. So she acknowledged that for each match, each of her 7 matches, she was going to wear a mask with a victim's name, a Black victim of police brutality and violence, name on her mask. Do you know the number of people online who have been not dancing like Genji? The number of people online who have been coming out against her, and again, this is a peaceful protest, which is what they've been asking for all along, who've been coming out against her, telling her, go back to Japan if you don't like what's happening here. How dare you speak out about what's going on in terms of social injustice in this country? And again, she is a very quiet, kind of demure champion. She doesn't make a lot of noise. She doesn't cause a lot of controversy. This was her one moment where she stood up, where, none of the other athletes stood up like this at the US Open. And yet people still came out at her for a peaceful protest. So again, I asked not just the panel, but the public, like, what do you guys want? Initially, you told us to stop looting, to stop making noise, to stop being so boisterous, to stop disrespecting the flag and the anthem. And now we are not doing any of those things, if you will. And you still have a problem.
I think you got a bunch of answers online, actually. So Jacqueline Robinson says they want folks who major in Yes a Boss 101. We're not having it anymore. Silence and jaw-dropping athleticism is all they want. It's all about fear. They're not afraid of unity they cannot control. Or they are afraid of unity they cannot control. Jacqueline Robinson says it was never about the flag, and if these people are more triggered by a show of unity than they are about the issues that brought about the protest, then they are part of the problem.
Absolutely.
Jeanette Brown, even when... Go ahead.
Go, Z.
I was actually, I was gonna quote Jeanette Brown as well, and it kind of brought up the devil's advocate in me. They want to show up and enjoy their sports and not be reminded of the real world we live in. I know for myself, there have been a few times the last 7 months or so since we've been on this, lockdown or whatever, that I've felt the same way, that I've wanted to just watch my program without, some breaking news report or I don't know, or, on a drive out, the one day you go out for a drive, you don't want to come across a protest and now you're stuck in traffic. I mean, I'm not saying that's cool, but what level of it could just be, people have been holed up, have been going without these things for, what they consider so long that they're just like, can we get a couple of hours and just enjoy football?
And my response to that is, and I say this speaking as someone who taught a class last summer on sports and politics. Sports and politics have always been meshed. They've always been intertwined. Athletes have never really taken I'm just going to shut up and play. Maybe some have, but overall, a lot haven't. You can take it back to the 1930s when Jesse Owens was confronted with a very racist Adolf Hitler. You can take it to 1980 when, you know, we decided that we were going to protest the Olympics and not play the Olympics in Moscow. And then again in 84, when the Russians were like, okay, well, then we're not going to play the Olympics in America. Like, it's always been intertwined. And so I don't think sports has ever been an arena where you can just set aside the actual sports from the politics, because the athletes that are playing still have to go home to those politics, or they still might be discriminated in their sport because of politics. And so it's one of those things, it's just like, well, and I think I said this on Wednesday show, like, we never tell the plumber to just shut up and fix my pipe. So why do we tell the athlete to just shut up and dribble? Like, it's everyone has a right to express their opinion. And I think athletes believe that because they have a platform, that this is the moment. This is where they do it.
All right. That'll be the last thought on that. Great topic.
Great topic, guys. Great topic.
All right. So that's it for our hot topics today.
Truth, lies, shenanigans.
Let's jump right into Shenanigans, the game show.
Right.
Okay, so Z, you weren't on our on Wednesday, but I channeled you because Neo started off cheating, and I was like, "Where is Z?"
Well, yeah.
I'm sorry, girl.
Could be some cheating here too. Who knows? You know? Actually, we're gonna get the audience involved today, so we're gonna see how that works out. All right, so this will be a round robin type questioning for 3 rounds. I'll ask some thought provoking questions, and you try to be as honest as possible. I know it might be hard, but please keep the answers short and sweet so we can keep it moving. I'll pick the winner with the audience's help for the first 2 rounds of the best answer for the questions. And then I'll pick the winner for the final round, and the person with the most points wins. In the case of a tie, we'll go straight to the audience and announce the winner after the shout out. All right, so we got the rules. All right, for example, the first question would be, would you rather hear God sing a song he wrote for you only once a year, receive a letter from God once a year, but you keep the letter? So that's an example. That's an example question. All right, so we're gonna go round robin. We're gonna start with Lizzie. Lizzie, are you more aware of your weaknesses or strengths?
Depends on the day.
Depends on the day.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm hyper aware of both.
Hyper aware of both. All right, Jam. Would you rather establish a philosophy or an environment?
Oh, philosophy. You got to know what you're about. Doesn't matter where you are. You got to know what you're about.
Interesting. Interesting.
All right. What's too serious to be joked about, Z?
Nothing.
Nothing. You can joke about anything.
There's humor. Eventually, you can find the humor in everything.
Okay.
Too soon. Too soon. Too soon.
All right. All right, audience, all right, viewers, put your answers. Who you thought won that round? Who had the best answer? All right, next round. Lizzie. Why are people unkind to each other?
Because they can be.
Yeah. All right.
Like, you know.
All right.
I'm a mean girl.
Oh, you're a mean girl? What? Go ahead.
Girl, I know when I can get away with it. People get away with what you allow them to get away with. So they are mean and unkind because the system allows that.
All right. I'll buy into that. Jam?
Oh, same question? I thought it changed.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought it did change. All right. If someone you loved and the person who had just discovered the cure, if someone you loved and the person who had just discovered cancer, the cure for cancer, were in a burning building and you could only save one of them, who would you save?
Oh, man.
I've got 2 answers for this. The first one goes back to, I think about Charles Drew. If y'all remember Charles Drew's story, where he created blood plasma, and then he was in a car accident, and the people at the hospital that sent him to wouldn't give him the blood plasma that would have saved his life, so he died. So with that in mind, my thought is I would save the person I love, because the person who cured cancer already published it. Sorry.
Okay. All right. And then Z, what would be the title of your autobiography?
Good question.
Too soon? Too soon. Too soon.
Too soon. Yeah, that would be my automatic. Too soon.
Too soon?
That's the title of my Too Soon.
All right.
Too soon.
Looks like Jam got no votes for the last round, and it looks like the Z and Z split. I'm picking Z. So Z gets the first round. All right.
Yay.
All right. So for the second round, put your comments of who you thought won the second round now. All right, guys. And then let's go to the next one. This is the last round. Would you consider yourself someone who has a price? This is to Lizzie. Oh, Jam, can you put a point in for Z, please?
Oh, sorry. I'm reading the responses.
Cheater.
Sorry.
Cheater.
I just put a -1. Does that count?
I don't think that's a good question. It's way too ambiguous.
You want another question? I'll give you another question.
Yeah.
What is the single most liberating thought you ever had?
Shit. Oh shoot.
Well, that's $100.
I didn't hear nothing.
Thank you. Cheating
Wow,
again.
she just went up to 100.
I heard sheet.
Single most liberating thought that I ever had, probably when I was 18 years old, after graduation. So after I left you guys, after I buried my dad, and I was on that plane to Finland and for my exchange program, and I was just like, my dad always told me there's a world out there, and now you are about to experience the world. So I think that was the most liberating moment for me, because I was getting away from all of the sadness that I was currently experiencing in DC, but then going to see a world beyond DC.
Okay. Jam,
Aw.
what do you believe your reason for existing is?
Geez.
Oh, Lord. Here we go.
Oh, man.
Try to keep it
Too
short and
soon,
sweet.
yeah. Too soon. So I know part of my reason for existing is I figured out this much, is to raise my children as effectively as I can, to teach them to be compassionate and to love and to defend themselves and each other. That is what I know. And to practice, I don't know. I think that's the majority of it. A little bit is to practice patience.
Okay.
And after that, I'm still working out the rest. Still got some mathing to do.
All right.
But also, well, you could introduce me to Stephen King. Boom.
That's his reason for living, huh? that was Jam's reason for living. Okay.
20-some years ago, I could talk to Stephen King. People who need that knowledge.
All right, Z, final question. If you could have everything your heart desires, would you be happy?
Probably not. Let's be honest. Probably not.
Okay.
Come on, let's be honest. History has shown that people who have everything they want are never happy.
All right, so
problems, more money, more problems.
So round
That's
two
right.
was a split between Lizzie and Jam, and I'm going to break the split and say Jam won round two, and I think Lizzie won round three. So it's a tie. All right, so people online, who won the game? We don't have a winner yet. After our shout-outs, we'll decide the winner. So just tell me who won the entire game, who gave the best answers for the entire game. All right, put that online now, and we'll name the winner after the shout-outs, and the winner will get the final thought for the day. But good job. Great. Thank you for answering the questions, guys. Good job.
Good question. Good question.
All right.
Oh,
Before we close out. Good.
Yeah, can I start with the special one?
Wait. Before we close out, let me get the shout-outs. Hold on. All right, guys.
All right.
Jam, which shout-outs?
Jeanette, Ruka, Ty, Daria. Who else do I got? Oh, definitely Salai. Thanks for coming out. Chris, appreciate you. So, who else I got? I'm gonna let y'all do the rest. These are some of y'all's friends. So, what's up?
All right, go ahead, Z.
I want to shout out Jeff, Ade, Yami, Kevin Leary. Thank y'all for listening. Love you guys.
Lizzie, sorry.
My shout out again, thanks everyone, especially our old viewers and our new viewers. Thank you for coming and joining us on Sunday Funday. But I really want to shout out Washington football team. We won today against the Eagles, and this is the first win for the Washington football team without the racist name that we have had since the team's inception. So I appreciate you guys for being progressive and moving forward, and let's do this season.
He's so silly. All right, so
wait, so that's their name?
The Washington football team.
Washington football.
That's their name.
Okay.
The Washington football team.
What was their old name? I forgot, Lizzie. What was their old name?
I don't know. I don't say racist stuff.
Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys.
Well, my shout out as always goes to my wonderful wife, but we also have a special shout out for Robin Johnson, Dr. Robin Johnson, who's been on our show. Her son is in the hospital and he's not doing too well. So we haven't got an update on what's going on, but just want to give a shout out to her and her son. All right.
Much love, Robin.
Robin. That's out to you, Robin.
Okay. All right. So that is all the time we have for the show tonight.
Ooh, loving these comments today.
Yeah, a lot of great comments tonight. All right, so I'd like to thank you all for joining us for the show. It's been a great show. We hope maybe you learned something new or gained a new perspective. We even got some things off your chest if you needed to. Please don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe at TLS Live Show. Again, Lizzie is looking for you guys to follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We have like 17 followers on Twitter. So we need you guys on Twitter. Get on Twitter and follow us there. I know a lot of people don't have Twitter accounts, but there's a lot of people that do. So just follow us on Twitter. Take a minute. Make sure you join us on Wednesday, 8 p.m. for another great show with East Rob and the amazing Lizzie and myself. Now, the winner of today's show, it looks like online, goes to Lizzie. Lizzie. Today's game show goes to Lizzie. Good job, Lizzie.
You gotta go to the public to get, no cheating on this show. We gotta go. I appreciate you all. Just a final thought again. I'm gonna say this to you. Please be safe. Adhere to the social distancing rules. Wear your mask, and we hope to see you next show.
All right. Thank you guys. Great show again. Loved having you. Have a good one. See you Wednesday.